From gigantic and silent boomerang-shaped crafts to stars traveling at unfathomable speeds in many different directions, today we are covering 3 very strange and very real encounters with UFOs spotted over Arlington, Texas. And while I might think there are rational explanations for the first 2, it's the last one that I simply have no explanation for, so stick around until the end and see if you have one.
818 Stories.
This is 818 Stories, where seriously scary stories are told seriously. Perhaps too seriously. If you are new here, please like the video.
Defeat the almighty algorithm.
Our first story is from a man from Arlington, Texas, and what he saw the summer of 2014. Here it goes. One night, I went over to my parents' house to have dinner with them and to spend time together. I had recently moved out, so I took any opportunity I had to see them. I had my then girlfriend with me and had gone out to the backyard to have a cigarette with her after we had eaten. We laid down on the trampoline and began looking at the night sky together. The moon was covered by clouds for a time, but when they parted, the moonlight lit up the yard. I don't remember the exact conversation we were having, but I remember what I said right before we saw it. I said to her jokingly, "What if we see some aliens?" Well, I'm not sure if that's exactly what we saw, but it was like nothing I'd ever seen before. Not 1 second after I said that, something caught my eye. It looked like the clouds in the sky to the left of the moon were shifting. It's hard to describe. I looked closer, squinting my eyes, and saw that what I was looking at was refraction, like when you stick a pencil into some water and it looks as if it's split. In that distortion, I saw the shape of a massive boomerang. It left the clouds and made its way in front of the moon. It was now a clearly visible shape passing overhead. I sat up quickly and asked my girlfriend if she was seeing what I was seeing. She said yes, quietly. Her eyes were fixed on this thing. I looked back up and it made its way past the front of the moon. It made a very faint, ominous noise. It was like a low hum. I'd never heard anything like it. There was also a faint green aura around it. All of a sudden, I had felt an intense dread come over me and felt like I was being stared at
by a predator.
It was the feeling you get if someone is staring you down, like they're about to attack you. It was coming from that giant craft in the sky. Before another moment had the chance to pass, there was a flash of light, and it shot into the night sky at a speed I don't believe any man-made object is capable of. I ran inside to tell my parents. I was in disbelief, and of course, to this day, they do not believe me. I know what I saw, though. That's our first story. He definitely saw something most of us don't see. What do you think? Could it have been some sort of military craft the public doesn't know about? I think it's unlikely, considering the speed he describes. Also, I don't know of any craft that big that can move so quietly. Either way is horrifying. We know it is common for a government to keep military technological advancement from the public, especially in the United States. But something like this is far beyond anything I would believe the United States or any country to be capable of. This is not the only place the object was seen. Our next story takes place at Six Flags over Texas. If you are familiar with Six Flags, you know that that particular location is in Arlington as well. This event took place 2 years later, in the summer of 2016. Here it goes. One night, me and my friend were at Six Flags, riding as many rides as we could. I'd always been interested in roller coasters, not just with riding them, but how they were engineered. My dad and I would travel all around the country, checking out different amusement parks and riding everything we could, with Cedar Point being our favorite. Anyways, my friend and I were heading over to the Gotham section of the park to ride Mr. Freeze and the Batman. As we were making our way there, though, something caught my eye and my peripheral vision. I looked into the sky, and I saw it. It was a giant boomerang object that seemed as if it was reflecting everything around it. It wasn't quite invisible. It was like a mirror. It made no sound. Maybe a faint hum if anything. It was just gliding over us in the sky so smoothly. I had never seen anything move so smooth and effortlessly, especially something of that size. I tapped my friend's shoulder and told him to look up. He saw it too. "It's probably just some military bullshit," he said, and then we continued on our way, forgetting all about it. As time has passed, that memory has stuck with me though. What the hell was that thing? That concludes that story. With multiple confirmed sightings, it is a little eerie. This is not the first time a boomerang-shaped craft has been spotted over American soil though. On March 13th, 1997, multiple crafts were spotted over both Arizona and Nevada. One craft in particular was shaped like a V. Not quite a boomerang, but similar enough. There is another documented sighting of an object fitting this description, written about in the Tampa Bay Times in 1993. The object was also described as being impossibly large and silent. Could it be extraterrestrial in nature, military, or something else entirely? I'll leave it to you to decide. The last sighting in this video is bizarre and definitely creepy. This UFO, or strange event, was spotted by 3 young adult men standing on a driveway in Arlington, Texas in 2016. Here it goes. I was standing outside of my home with my brother and friend after seeing a movie. We were talking for a bit and would soon say our goodbyes to each other. My friend was a smoker and he wanted to have a smoke before he left, so we joined him. It had been a long week at work and I was very tired, so I laid down on the driveway and began to look up into the sky. I don't remember what we were talking about, but the conversation shifted to how small we were in relation to the universe. You know, the kind of existential stuff you talk about in your 20s. I could just barely make out the stars, but as my eyes adjusted, I began to count them. I knew it would be impossible to count them all, but I just started doing it for some reason. I fixated on one star for a while and got lost in thought. Suddenly,
It moved.
I don't mean a little bit. This thing shot a distance we can't even comprehend. This was not a plane with its blinking lights or a satellite which can resemble a star at times, but moves at a steady speed over the earth. This was a star. Not only did it shoot off in one direction, but several. I shouted at my brother and friend to look at this. They spotted it shooting around immediately. We were all nervously laughing and joking, but eventually we just fell silent in awe of this thing. It began rotating in circles and moving sporadically. Then, it shot all the way across the night sky and disappeared. Its motion was unnatural, and to this day, I have not seen anything like that. We all just kind of accepted what we saw. I mean, what can you really do about it? You can tell people, but they will just assume you're lying, or that you saw something else. People are quick to dismiss things that they believe are strange or unbelievable. I don't know. It was strange to say the least. So I ask you, the viewer, what do you think they saw? Have you seen anything like this before yourself? I would be quick to rationalize this as a satellite or a drone, as I have seen how they move across the night sky. But the motion he described, and the speed, that rules that out, I think. What do you think, though? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Also, if you have any stories you would like told on this channel, please email them to 818stories@gmail.com. This channel is small and growing, so I'll cover any that I can. And as a new channel, I would like to ask you, the viewer, what are your thoughts on the videos? If you have any suggestions, drop them down in the comments below. These videos are completely pointless without you, so I'm eager to know, what would you like to see? What would you like to know? What stories would you like to hear? Your suggestions mean everything. So thank you for sticking around until the end. Stay safe out there, and remember,
It's a dangerous world.
Please like, comment, and subscribe.